there's so many games that have been out there in the past, and we're gamers too, and so we've played those. We went through and it's like, hey, how do we like the way these characters moved? Which kind of combat systems did we like? And really kind of went in and tried to design this with something that gamers would like. Now we needed to make it accessible enough for some of the younger gamers as well, but that's really one of the reasons why we put in the kind of the enhanced combo system, but then also the skill trees. And so the skill trees and allowing the characters to really kind of there's about 40 different upgrades that you can get for each character. A lot of them are stats based, but some of them are your special moves and that kind of stuff. It was really to be able to allow a more expressive move set that would be true to all the Marvel characters. We've got a Hall of Heroes that's kind of more Marvel inspired. It's on a separate island, if you will.
It's structured with two different, discrete areas of the game at a high level. So there's the play sets. We talked about the first one today, the Avengers play set, and they operate within their group, and with a very discrete story about the Avengers and the New York backdrop that we showed. And then there's the toy box, which is separate, which is a much more unstructured area. And we liken that to your living room floor, an area where you could do anything. You can pull different toys, different types of toys. We understand that. And that's the conversation that we had, in terms of, what does this allow fans of all ages to be able to do?
In general, we have optimized the engine quite a bit and been able to do bigger things now. So particularly when you're talking about PS4 and Xbox One, yes, the toy boxes can get substantially larger. And so we've actually gone through and put some information on kind of the fuel gauge that says, hey, you've just passed over this particular platform's ability to run this well. And so, when you think about that, that might be iOS to PS3 to PS4, that kind of thing.
See? This is why we can't have nice things.
We had a lot of toys in the initial toy box, right? So there's over 1,300 toys, I think was what it came down to. And so to go through and make sure that all the new toys that we're adding, as well as being able to support all of those toys as well, it's a pretty big database, kind of at the end of the day, and a lot of testing that's going on that. And so we've kind of gone through and said there were certain that didn't quite make sense to go ahead and bring forward. So we had to make a program that would kind of go through, screen those, let you know that it's like, hey, there's a couple of the toys in here that are no longer supported. Do you still want to bring that forward? Those kind of things. It took a little bit of effort to try to make sure we could get all those forward and that the users could understand, okay, this is what it's going to be. When we first started this, we didn't really have this idea that there would be the community like we have right now. I think that was, I don't want to say it was a happy accident, but it was definitely something that we looked at as we started to develop the game and said, like, look, we could share these toy boxes back and forth online. We're already online, you can already play together with these things. Maybe I should just be able to send you things that I've saved. As we started thinking about, well, maybe how do we do that as Disney and make sure that, kind of our brand values are represented in each one of those things, and then kind of build a user community around that idea of these best things that we've done. We started thinking about, well, yeah, let's kind of maybe from more of a Toy Box TV angle, let's curate these, kind of with contests, and we've got a bunch of cool stuff that we could actually maybe get people engaged in. As that started up, we did not realize how cool and how good some people would be at building these. And so Crazy by Nick's actually won, I think he's won 2 or 3 of the different challenges. And so as we started looking at then the new features that we'll put into 2.0, that you actually can really build games out of it this time around that are kind of this, front to back full experiences. We're like, we've talked about the community doing this for each other, but maybe we should really talk about just doing this for the community ourselves and making sure that we're supporting this. We've actually just made it more of a business plan, kind of moving forward, that we think we can add value for the players here, and that the community is actually very strong on this. And I think it's something that we think that, if we can keep the engagement with people, that this is really something that's going to, kind of help the business and help the fans in the long run.
What? No applause?
Every time you make a game, you go back and go, oh, would have changed this, would have changed that. And a lot of the HUD stuff was something that we looked at and said, we think we can make this easier to understand, that, when we're nesting you in menus, how does that work and how does that look? And then also, we're working with Marvel on this one, and so we wanted there to be a different feel, and we wanted it to really represent kind of maybe some more of the Marvel brand values and incorporate those into what Infinity means and stands for. And I really think that we ended up working with the Marvel team on, okay, what maybe should this look like, and came up with something pretty cool.
Oh, it looks great. I mean, it looks really great. I mean, it is It's true to the game and it's true to our brand. And it didn't just fall out of a tree. We worked together incredibly closely with people across the Marvel business, across the Walt Disney Company, to make sure that it fit all criteria, checked all the boxes. So this is something that took a long time, and we were very careful with, but I am incredibly pleased. I think this stuff looks fantastic. It's a collector's item as well as something that is a key to being able to enjoy the game.
The characters are not evenly balanced from that standpoint. I mean, Thor, being able to fly, he's super strong. I mean, Iron Man has a lot of the same, attributes. Realistically, Hulk was the most powerful character in the game. We wanted each of these characters to fulfill what you would expect them to be. So, realistically, some of the characters that may be more of the SHIELD agents that have got maybe more of the technology, we've tried to balance them out by giving them some cool tech tricks and those kind of things. But realistically, yeah, it's hard to beat, guys that can fly and shoot and are really strong.
Exactly.
I think particularly for Marvel, it works really well because you kind of got these idea of these team ups, and so we kind of went back and worked with Marvel on kind of storyline thoughts about, well, you got crossover characters that kind of go in between comic books, and so those characters would naturally kind of come in to help, and we really wanted to make sure that the power discs were something that had a lot of value to people, and so being able to bring in kind of like this uber super move kind of thing as it kind of times up, then you can go ahead and use it, was something that we thought was really true from a story kind of franchise perspective. So that's the genesis of them. We feel like as long as that kind of same story works for something on any of the other family of brands, we could do it there too. One of the nice things we are doing though with the older Disney characters is JV kind of mentioned it in today, where we're taking the level cap up to 20. Those characters now do participate in the skill upgrades, and so they can upgrade their stats. So there will be some stats upgrades, and then each of those characters do have some new kind of like an aura or something like that that helps you out in some of the toy box games that we have. So we've added a little bit of value to each one of your old characters as well.